Hello, my friends. Today, I am so excited to be diving into just a wonderful, beautiful conversation with my dear friend, Susie Procini. Did I say it right? Now I feel like I said it wrong just to say your joke.
No. Well, it's not porcini like the mushroom, but my husband is a fungi.
Guys, she literally told me this joke before, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, this is such a good joke, but watch me mess up her last name now. Oh, I love it. But
Okay, let's all keep laughing.
yeah,
Yay.
exactly. So Susie is an amazing women empowerment coach, and I just can't wait for her to share with you some of the wisdom that she's gathered and just share her heart with you, and we can get to know her and what she does. So, Susie, can you share with me how you came to do this very special work?
Thank you, Gabby. And listen, I just want to let you know that I'm so honored to be with you today and being interviewed by you and able to reach out to her clients as to what I do. I so appreciate you. So, how did I get to be a woman's empowerment coach? Wow, I'm not sure we have enough time for the whole backstory, but I became a health and wellness coach. And this is after my kids went off to college and my husband said I could come back and work for him. And I thought, no, I need to do something for me. So I went back to school. I became a health coach. What I discovered, Gabby, is that the women I was working with, we never talked about food because they had so much other stuff to unpack before we got down to what you put into your body as fuel.
Mm.
And I found that this was a real passion for me. And I kind of did a about face and became a woman's empowerment coach. And I really believe that this is my calling in life. It's my purpose and my passion.
Love that. I love that so much. And it's really awesome as like just someone who also works with women and just seeing, I'm a personal stylist and, I'm helping them with their style and things like that. But just like you were saying, there are so many things that come up in conversation when we're serving women. And just to see that you were able to see that need and really speak into that and really just try to serve in that area is just really inspiring. So that's awesome, Susie. Okay, Susie, what is it that you offer women through your work?
So let me just start off by saying the work that I do with my clients is the work that I have done on myself for the past 20 years. And this is what I needed. So I'm not pointing the finger and saying this is what all women need. This is what I needed, and this is what I bring to my clients. So I bring clarity into their lives. Like you have all these thoughts and processes in your head, and they get all knotted up. I help you untangle all of the thoughts and give you a clear path moving forward. The other thing I bring to my clients is awareness. There is such a disconnect with women from their heads to their bodies and their hearts that we live in a headspace, which is just like being on that hamster wheel, I'll call it, where you're just turning and turning and turning and turning. You're exhausted and you don't know how to help yourself get out of it. I help women with confidence, which is a big thing. Many women feel that they are not worthy or they have no value. And I'm here to tell women that because you are on this planet, you have worth and you have value just the way you are right now without changing a thing. Can you improve in that, become a better version of yourself? Absolutely. And that is what I bring to my clients. And I help women create a life that they love. And again, going back to worth and value, many women feel like they don't even have a decision that they can make to create their own lives. They just go along and do what someone else tells them to do or be that person that they think that person needs them to be. They can stand in their own life and say, this is what my dreams and desires are, and this is what I'm going after. The other thing is to let women know that they need to take care of themselves first, especially as a mom. Oh my gosh. You cannot give from an empty cup. You pour an empty cup, nothing comes out of it. if there's nothing inside of you as a woman who is caring for a family, for a partner, how can you give anything? It's like running your car with no gas in the tank. Can't do it. It won't start.
Mm-hmm.
By pushing and pushing, this causes exhaustion, overwhelm, and that is just not a place to live from. And again, letting women know their worth. You are worthy. You have value. And I help women come to a loving relationship with themselves to understand what they offer people in this world, because we all have a purpose. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, but I could
Oh
go
my
on.
goodness. I hear you. I love that so much, Susie. And just all the things that you touched on. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. We need that as women. And being a new mom, especially, like that really resonates with me as well. And I think too the analogy of the empty cup and just the car without gas, it's a reminder too, like your self-love and your self-care is also loving others well too, because I love that view. Like we always think like we're giving to my daughter, to my family, and you're just run dry. But when you're refilling that, you're refilling yourself, you are taking care of yourself, you have so much more to pour out and give as well. And that's just like a byproduct of it. So it's just so awesome. And one other thing that really popped out at what you had said to me is that you have gone through this all yourself, and you teach from a place of having been there. And that is the type of person I like to sit under and learn from and glean from, because they have been there. They've walked in my shoes and they have tried and true practices that actually work, and that they have seen results from themselves that they can help walk me through. So, really awesome, Susie.
Gabby.
Absolutely. So speaking on just your work, I'm really interested to know a story about a current client that you are working with. Do you have any fun stories or a good story for us?
Yeah, some of it's really deep work, but I'll
Mhm.
share a fun story and then one that's really getting to the crux of what's going on within her. I have a client who she's a young woman, so I work with women of all ages, 20 on up to 110. She was in the corporate world, but she had a side job of coaching softball. And she wanted to make the leap from leaving corporate into having her own job, being her own entrepreneur, coaching young girls in softball, but she was so afraid. And that's another thing that women really come up against, is that fear of stepping out of their comfort cocoon.
Mhm.
So she began to work with me, and we just kind of analyzed it out. Like she was afraid the money wasn't going to be there, that she would have a gap between what she was making and what she was going to be making. And we realized that the money that she was like missing in between the jump was not that much. And so she stepped out and she found her worth and value. And now she is working with young women, like middle school age type girls, and she is becoming a coach for them. And I love the fact that I can take her model of being a coach on a sports field, because that's exactly what I feel like I am, except not on the field.
Mhm.
But a coach is there to help a team or an individual become better at what they do. It's not that there's anything wrong with a woman who comes to me as a client. It's just they want to be the best version of themselves. And so a coach will do that. They will sit down and I would always talk to my clients beforehand, like, okay, so what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to see differently in your life? So that's what a coach does. So I have and she has a thriving softball coaching practice, and she's just like killing it.
Awesome.
It's a little
Yay.
more serious, is a woman who, like myself, had a very abusive mother-daughter relationship when she was younger. So, so much of what we as women become stems from our family that we grow up with. Like we take on the person that our parents are. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just what they knew how to do. No one's pointing the finger saying that those people were guilty of something. That is just what they knew how to do in their parenting. But this woman has some really intense trauma from her mother. So we are healing that. And in the process, she's coming to know herself better. Like she realizes that just because these things happen to her, it doesn't define who she is now, or it never did, but that she gets to create her life from this point on. And quite possibly, that experience, as horrible as it was, is made her who she is today. And she's a powerful, powerful woman.
Oh, I imagine. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, Susie, I love that. So I know that there are other life coaches and women empowerment coaches out there right now. What would you say makes you stand out from the rest?
Great question, Gabby. What, and you touched on this, what makes me different from the rest is I have done this work myself.
Mm,
I got the coaches I needed.
yep,
I am still working with a coach. I will always have a coach because you need somebody from the outside looking at you that you can't see because you're inside of you. So
yep.
they can see, they can take you by the hand. And this is what I do because I've done the work. I can give my clients the fast track to transformation. Now, here's the thing about transformation everybody wants it, but nobody wants to do the work. So, what I do is I break down the changes or the steps to transformation into its smallest measurement. Because then, when you have small measurements of change and you put them all together, it means great transformation. And that's what I experienced in the 20 years of my work working on myself and on into the future. That you don't have to take this big leap if it makes you feel uncomfortable. If you're comfortable taking one small change, one small adjustment, one small shift, you can do anything and change any way that you feel about yourself, others, and the world. And it's just such a beautiful process.
Oh, I love that. And I love how you said you break it down into actionable steps and like it's almost like a slow process. Sometimes we know the transformation in our mind that we want, but when we think about it, it feels so big and it feels so unattainable because we're seeing that final product. We don't necessarily even know what are the steps that we need to take to get there. So that's really awesome that you provide a plan and that it's digestible and that it's at our own pace, which is really, really important. I love
Like my mentor says to me, Gabby, she says, the process is the goal. There is no end point goal, so to speak. It's always being in the process of getting to the place you want to be.
that. I really like that. Feel like we want to rush through the process. Sometimes I know if I'm speaking for me, like I want to rush through it. So that is such a refreshing way to look at it. Like, no, this is the process. Enjoy it, learn from it, soak in from it. Instead, I'm just like, I want the transformation now. So I relate to that. Like wanting it now, not wanting to have to put all this work and effort into it. So very important uh process and what you do for your clients and how you break that down for them. So, Susie, after we've heard such amazing, amazing goodness from you, how can we connect with you, get to know you better? Share all the ways with us.
Sure. Well, I have a website and it's www.susieprocini and my last name is Pro. Just think of me as the pro, INI.com. My phone number, you can send me a text, reach out and call, leave me a voicemail, 609 634 2764. And my email address is Susie at ageperfection, all one word, .com.
Oh, thank you, Susie. And you know what? Wherever this video is, if there is text, the description, or up in the comments, wherever it is, I will make sure to put all that in there as well, just to make it easier for everyone.
Oh, you're the best, Gabby. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, Susie, thank you so much for chatting with me, for sharing with me. And I'm just so excited to continue to possibly have more conversations in the future about some of these really in depth topics. And just thank you. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me.
Thank you. You're such a delight, Gabby, and it was my pleasure.